Fnatic, they are the victors of the first game of the European LCS. It's too little, it's too late. Giants are looking to put a gigantic stamp on the win. They jump back in, that is a massive NAR! Copenhagen Wolves lock H2K up. Forgiven melts Vanda, Inhibitor goes down, SK Gaming pick up the first win. And Unicorns turn to the Inhibitor turret. Oh, that's a great stun by Cabo shot!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2 of the 2015 European League of Legends Championship Series Spring Split. I'm Evie Shokusupporter, here with none other than our special guest, Mitch Krepo Voorspoels. Special indeed, Krepo.
It's good to be back here, John.
It's good to have you back. Yesterday, we saw upsets, explosive debut performances, and a lot of new lineups. And I'm sure today we'll have its fair share of surprises. Let's kick off today with a quick recap of some of yesterday's biggest stories. Up first, of course, Fnatic upset over Elements. Coming in here with a brand new lineup led by Yellowstar, absolutely destroyed that Elements line.
Yeah, I just really like what they brought to the table. This distinct, fast-moving team comp led by Yellowstar, as you said, roaming around. And then in the back, our man, our European sniper, Febivin, was sitting there. He basically was sniping everybody down, played really well in that game, and yeah, phenomenal play by him.
Yeah, also racked up the most points in the fantasy yesterday, so that was a very good job by him indeed. Secondly, the Unicorns of Love. They had a dominant first LCS game against Gambit. Meta picks, but strong play, strong calls, and just a good game all around.
Yeah, I really like, again, what they did. You know, everybody keeps saying Unicorns of Love, they play off meta, but they got ahead with Power Level in the mid lane. He started roaming around. He dove that bottom lane. Hylissang, he got ahead. Sure, Leona needs a little work on the level 2 timing, and I think around level 6 in the lane. But once Hylissang left that lane, his Leona was super important for the UOL team comp, and they just made picks left, right, and center. And Snowball against Gambit, everybody was saying Gambit's coming strong. They won IEM. You know, they're looking really sharp, and UOL just completely dismantled them.
Yeah, and dismantling also some of the question marks around them. What will they do in meta picks? Well, in this game at least, it's only one game.
Only
but
one game, yeah.
It was indeed a good first performance. And then, of course, SK Gaming living up to the expectations versus Roccat. Not one player that was standalone phenomenal. The team was phenomenal as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, you could definitely see that SK brought back what they had in the last season, basically that really good shot calling, the good map movements, a little lacking still in the vision control, but now they added to that even better players in their team. We have the Freddy and Svensker and Synergy up in the top lane, that was really great. We had Forgiven playing like a really newfound AD carry, dashing forward instead of always playing passive, and he just played the game so smart, and all of it together just really showed how great of a roster SK has right now. And I try to get a little highlights here and there. Just Forgiven, what separates him from the other AD carries is that he knows exactly when to dash in and when to go out, and he uses his gap calls aggressively, and that's why he's one of the few players still playing Lucian, actually, because he really likes using that E, triggering his passive for a couple shots, then queuing passive for a couple of shots, and he's backed up by his team and ready to play Lulu, a rather defensive support. We don't really see that often anymore, but it works for SK because they had these tank presences in the top lane, and then all the damage had to go unforgiven, but he stayed alive thanks to the peeling from his team and thanks to Enrated as well.
Yeah, and afterwards talking to him as well, nice to see him back, and kind of a new view on everything. It's a team, it's not all about me and making it happen, and it definitely paid off for them in that very first game. And now let's take a look at a day 1 game that had you turning to Twitter. Here was your most talked about LCS big play. It comes to us from the Unicorns of Love versus Gambit match and features Cabochard with a flash ult on Cassiopeia from @CrummyPants. Cabochard's flash Cassiopeia ult was a bright moment in an otherwise dominant game from the Unicorns of Love. This was your most talked about big play.
Killed by Chachi, and Unicorns turn to the Inhibitor turret. Oh, that's a great stun by Cabochard in conjunction with collateral damage.
Now let's look at Cabochard here, and it's engaged together with Edward coming in. Is it actually an ulti flash? It is. Beautiful. So he starts the animation from his ulti, and then he flashes after, so there's no reaction time for Unicorns of Love.
See, and there goes the fish here with actually what I was going to say as my point. You really have to highlight that he starts the animation of the ulti, then flashes, and you can compare it to Charm Flash from Ahri, the old hook flashes from Thresh, and it's really smart that he knows his champion in and out already, and you saw that's where Gambit's Wumble combo was. You know, that's what they wanted. They wanted to get the Cassiopeia ulti, layer the Tibbers on top, but the UOL was just smart of them. They never let them get to that point and just absolutely decimated them every time somebody tried to step forward. And Gambit, they were lacking a tank presence, and I really hope they fix that. But Speaking of taking down tanks, though, I had one highlight and one LCS big play. It isn't all that fancy, but it came out of the Fnatic match against Elements, and it just shows how well they're playing together. If you can get that clip on the screen right now, you can already see it. So basically, Elements, they're sieging down a tier 1 tower, and you think it's going down, but if you roll the clip, you see the teleport coming in. Look how none of the members of Fnatic get in danger of dying, but they see C chain perfectly. So they get Lissandra W, Lissandra ulti, and he's stunned. Wicked wants to go out, but look at the bottom right. Febiven's coming in, and that's why Wicked turns around, because he had nowhere else to go anymore. He was essentially zoned. If he walks back, Feb will finish him off. So he had only one choice, put a little damage down, but die anyways. And that tower was seemingly going down, was another objective trade for Elements, but Fnatic just came into that moment the exact right timing. They didn't overextend at all, and they changed their CC perfectly, even though they have multiple languages in that team, even though the communication isn't all that perfect, and they only have been playing for such a short time with each other. I really like what they brought to the table.
Very impressive straight off the bat. Remember to share your favorite plays with us today by tweeting at LOL Esports and using that hashtag LCS Big Plays. Now, before we get into today's matches, let's take a look at the table after day 1 of the season. 5 teams are tied at the top of the standings with a win apiece, while the other 5 are locked up at the bottom. Of course, that will all change today as we start things off with Meet Your Makers versus SK Gaming. Later on, Roccat will take on Gambit. And to wrap up the day, we have the hotly anticipated matchup between the Unicorns of Love and our summer split champions Elements. And that is going to be a firecracker to kick things, or to end things tonight.
I'll definitely be watching that match.
Well, you have to.
I'm kind of rooting for both Unicorns of Love because I really like what they bring to the table, as well as Elements. Like, I've played with all these guys before, so I really hope they can pick it back up. Because for them to go 0-2, yes, sure, they did that last season, but I kind of wish they had a better start to this season. But
they still became European champions, though.
Yeah, even while losing. But let's make them European champions with winning at the start.
All right, if you want to study up on the new teams, rosters, and players, or catch up on competitive play from around the world, head over to lolesports.com. And while you're there, you can also head over to fantasy.lolesports.com, where it's not too late to create your own LCS dream team. Now, Crepo, do you have any fantasy sleepers up your sleeve?
Well, ever since my favorite support player, Crepo, is no longer in the LCS, I kind of lost interest into fantasy
Shedding
league.
one single tear.
So I don't play fantasy anymore.
You know, this my tiny violin. Okay. You've heard our thoughts on the season opener, and now we want to hear from you. Jump on Twitter and tell us which player impressed you the most on day 1 and why. Well, I keep hyping and talking about Unicorns of Love, but Power of Evil, even on the nerfed Syndra, he did a fantastic job once again.
Yeah, I think if we start highlighting players, we can look at the role. You have Febiven in the mid lane there.
Absolutely.
I liked Reignover, the way he uses Rengar. I liked the way Yellowstar was roaming around. So it's really hard to pick out one player, so I'll just pick out one team. I was just really happy with Fnatic.
All right, be sure to tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag LCS, and we'll discuss some of your responses later in the show. And as we continue to celebrate the start of the 2015 season, you can still earn a Challenger Ari skin code if we read your tweet on air today. And now it's time to take a look at our first match of the day as Meet Your Makers face off against SK Gaming. SK, they had a very